Matt Peiken here with the Wake Up Podcast, and I have a confession to make. I don't live in your city. I produce this newscast from all the credible sources of journalism and the reporters who make up your local media landscape. I try to get the names of people and places right, but once in a while I'll mispronounce something. So I want you to set me straight so I don't repeat the mistake. If you hear anything amiss or just want to send feedback on the show, email me at editor@wakeupthenews.org. All right, on with the news. Wake up, Raleigh. I'm Matt Peiken. Thanks so much for closing your week out with me on this newscast for Friday the 13th. Apex is moving toward a year-long moratorium on new data centers even after a proposed facility in New Hill was withdrawn. The town council unanimously approved a required public notice this week, with a formal vote expected in April. Leaders say a pause would give the town time to study environmental and community impacts and update development rules. Some residents want a new committee of experts and neighbors to guide that work. Others, including several council members, say existing boards can handle it. The Environmental Affairs Board will report back in 60 days. Read more in Indie Week. The UNC System Board of Governors has approved a new policy on academic freedom and tenure, reaffirming support for free inquiry while outlining limits. The policy says academic freedom doesn't include teaching content without a clear connection to a course, using university resources for political activity, or refusing to comply with institutional policies. In an opinion piece, North Carolina State Professor Fred Cubbage argues those expectations are so broad they could threaten tenure and chill classroom discussion, especially around topics like climate change or diversity, equity, and inclusion. Read more in NC Newsline. It's been just over a year since North Carolina moved nearly 500,000 state employees, dependents, and retirees to Aetna to run the state health plan. Now the plan says it won't use an optional extension and will instead seek new bids for a contract starting in 2028. A spokesperson says, quote, "This administration has different priorities." Aetna calls the bidding process routine. The plan is also seeking bids for its pharmacy benefits manager after a public dispute with CVS Caremark that ended in an agreement last year. You can read more in the News and Observer. Here's a tangible local impact to the federal immigration crackdown. Wake County Public Schools are projecting little growth after losing 702 students this year instead of gaining more than 1,300 as expected. District planners point to a sharp decline in foreign-born migration and the expansion of North Carolina's Opportunity Scholarship private school voucher program. The district now has about 160,400 students, about 2,000 fewer than projected. English language learner enrollment dropped by 3,000 students, the first significant decline in a decade. Slower growth could affect school funding and future construction plans, with more focus on renovations. Read more about this in the News and Observer. And Raleigh is testing a new approach to mental health emergencies by embedding 3 clinicians inside its 911 call center. When a call involves a mental health crisis and no weapon is present, it can be transferred directly to a clinician instead of police. The goal is to calm callers, assess risks, and connect them to care, including behavioral health urgent care centers. Emergency Communications Director Dominic Nutter says the partnership with Alliance Health allows for continuity of care and frees up first responders. The pilot runs weekdays from 9 to 5 and is expected to expand. Read more about this at Axios Raleigh. Our free newsletter is a quick local news digest, essentially this newscast in written form. Subscribe at wakeupral.transistor.fm. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at Wake Up Raleigh, and please share this podcast with your friends who care about this city. I'm Matt Peiken. Thanks so much for starting your weekdays with Wake Up Raleigh.